Let's talk to Daniel in Golders Green this afternoon. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Ben. Great to speak to you again.
And you, how are you? All right?
Very good, thanks.
Good.
Although I must say I am burning with rage.
Burning with rage, Daniel. What? Go on, tell me why. Get it off your chest.
Ben, because I genuinely believe that we are living in tinderbox Britain. Millions of ordinary, decent, hard-working people are fed up of being taxed into poverty by the government. They're fed up of being fined, charged and punished at every turn. And they're fed up of being pushed to the back of the queue at every turn whilst being labelled as far-right extremists for raising legitimate concerns about illegal immigration.
Who's labelled anybody who's raising legitimate concerns about immigration far-right extremists, Daniel?
Well, Gordon Brown did, first of all, in 2010 when he labelled Gillian Duffy as that bigoted woman when she raised concerns.
He didn't call her a far-right extremist.
He called her a bigoted woman, and then, if you remember, and then Keir Starmer accused anybody who was calling for a national inquiry into the grooming gang scandal as jumping on the far-right bandwagon. And then Lucy Powell did the same to Tim Montgomery when he asked or raised a concern about the grooming gang investigation on Channel 4.
Which she apologised for. So this is about people not feeling listened to and not feeling heard and being very, very angry like you about that, Daniel, you think?
It is, Ben. You hit the nail on the head there, but it goes even further than that and even deeper than that. It's being driven. This tinderbox this tinderbox fire is having petrol poured on it actively by the government, by this Labour government, because then they are labelling people as racist, as far-right extremists, and they are effectively stoking the fire.
All right, Daniel, hold the line there if you would. Let's bring in Kay in Edgware. Kay, you heard what Daniel was saying there. We are living in tinderbox Britain. It's about immigration and people not feeling that their concerns are being listened to. Is he right?
Well, if you analyse it in the cold light of day, there might be some points that you could say are valid, but not for the reasons that he believes, in my opinion. I generally believe that the reason why people like him have got that sort of view is because of a lack of education more than anything. I think what we really need to do in this country is start to educate people as to why there may be mass immigration of people coming into this country. So I'll give you, for example, if we talk about the Windrush Generation or we talk about my great-grandparents, they were seen as British citizens in their eyes, and they came to this country for prosperity. Once all the concentrated wealth came from the countries that we were working in, the ex-colonies basically came to here, it's pretty much the same as somebody leaving from Birmingham and coming to London for a job. And I think where Daniel has got the problem is that he is also whipped up by the government that he says that are giving him these problems, but in the reverse manner. So you've got people like what's his name again? I always forget his name. Whatever his name is, UKIP guy.
Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage. You've got people like Nigel Farage that prey on the innocence of people like Daniel and make him believe that there's a problem that isn't actually there because of his lack of awareness or education about this.
So they're whipping up unfounded fears about immigration, you think?
Yeah.
All right, Daniel.
Kay, can I just say, I completely dispute what you say about me, lack of education. I am very well educated. Just so you know, I'm Jewish. My family are immigrants. I speak Arabic with my Lebanese neighbours. I speak French with my neighbours. I speak Spanish with my Colombian neighbours.
Daniel, you're the epitome of integration then. Why are you banging on about a tinderbox Britain when you live a very, very different story?
Because, first of all, I saw it as serving over a decade as a police officer and dealing with, for example, an immigrant who should have been in this country who attempted to murder my female colleague, who turned out he had 49 previous convictions, who came from a country in West Africa, should never have been here. There are immigrants coming. There are over 40,000 illegal immigrants or immigrants who have arrived illegally into this country. And my point is yes, go on.
Can I say something? You know what's funny about everything you've just said, and it's funny that you don't live too far away from me. Where you live and the community that you come from is basically separatist and isolationist. So the one thing that you're worried about, you guys basically do yourself. So there's a whole community of you guys that stay together.
What do you mean?
Sorry, what do you mean, you guys? Don't include me in that.
You live in. Okay, let me put it this way. Yeah, you live in an area. You live in a highly densely populated Jewish area, right? Am I right in saying that?
Yes, there is a Jewish community here.
So again, you will have that issue because you're not integrating with anybody else like that. You're saying to me, yes, you've got neighbours that are Arab, people that are French and stuff like that.
Well, that's it, Kay. That's integration. That is integration.
No, but they're integrated on a separate scale though, because they've still got a micro community. Well, more than a micro community within their community, but that's only amongst themselves. They don't really mingle with everybody else. So he's saying that what I'm basically trying to get is the problem that he's putting forward that's there. You're contributing to it by separating.
All right, let him respond then, Daniel.
Sorry, I completely disagree with you. I'm not contributing to anything. You can find ghettoized communities all across the country, and we should integrate. And I think you raised a very good point about the Windrush Generation, who helped build the NHS, who did amazing things, but so did everyone from the Pakistani community, from the Irish community, from the Jewish community. Jewish people brought fish and chips to the UK. People from the West Indies, people from everywhere, from all over the country. But the problem nowadays is, I think there is the past governments, or the Labour and the Tory governments, have created a divisive society where they have welcomed in, and Keir Starmer even called this as ending the crazy experiment. They've welcomed in immigrants who do not contribute, who do not integrate, who don't learn English, who are happy to live a life on benefits. And that is the problem, that we don't have that level of integration that we did a few years ago.
Let me ask you a question then. So half of those people that come on small boats, why don't they just stay in France? Why do they come to the UK?
You tell me.
No, I'm asking you. Do you know the answer to it?
Well, some of them have family ties here. Some of them believe that but some of them, and a lot of them, are economic migrants who believe the UK is paved with streets of gold, and believe that they can claim benefits because countries like France, Germany don't have such generous benefits systems as we do.
Right, go on.
Go on, Kay.
Yeah. Okay, even if I accept that for a second, you said something really key there. You said that half of them have got ties to the UK. Why have they got ties to the UK? Or why don't you know?
You tell me.
Okay, because most of us are coming from communities that were a part of the Empire generation, part of the Empire generation, right? So we see this place as home as well, right? So you can't now sit down and say that what's happened in the past. Well, I'm telling you, what's happened in the past has contributed to why we're...
All right, okay, but just briefly, just to address Daniel's point before we move on about lack of integration. It's not that people are coming here, it's that when they do, they're not mixing.
Oh, well, to tell you the truth, there's some elements of me that will say that I do agree with that, because I don't think this country does enough to promote assimilation, but and integration in that sense, because we don't really have a national... like a national ethos for people to kind of get together. So that is one point that you could sit down and say that maybe we haven't done correctly. But I'm just saying in terms of them coming here, there's a reason why they're coming here. And once we understand that should make us, find a way for us to find a better solution for integration.
All right, very different perspectives, interesting calls. Thank you both. Daniel in Golders Green, Kay in Edgware.